Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are NC.
Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's a cool evening at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City for Game 2 of this series between the Red Sox and the Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. The Royals started this homestand in ugly fashion with a 6-3 loss last night to Boston. Now they'll hand the baseball to rookie Yordano Ventura. Last start on the big stage in the Big Apple, he pitched really well.
He did. He's one of the most youngest dynamic talents that the Royals have seen in a long time on that mound, Biz. When you got 101 miles an hour as your max, and then you got a yellow hammer, a curveball, you know, that changeup is special. All those pitches make him a real deal, no question. But what I liked that I saw in New York City was attitude. He pitched with an attitude. He had some anger in him. As he's walking off the mound, AT&T U-verse rewind shows him not too happy, but his performance was awesome.
They just need to give Ace some run support. The Royals hope their offense gets started tonight, and Joel Goldberg will talk more about that when we come back after this.
City, at least for September, and the Royals offense looking to heat up, averaging 2.7 runs per game since August 24th. Welcome back to the K. Joel Goldberg here beyond center field. And for the Royals, really almost everyone has been cold in this lineup, except for maybe Nori Aoki lately and Lorenzo Cain. But Billy Butler has sat for the last 3 straight days. First time he's done that since May of 2000, 3 straight games. And Alex Gordon is 1 for his last 23. And so while there have been a lot of culprits, let's look in our Academy Sports and Outdoors numbers here at a couple of guys that when they have been hot, the Royals have been hot. Royals from May 29th to June 18th, 15-4. Alex Gordon and OPS over 1,000. Billy Butler at 913. From July 22nd to August 23rd, the Royals were 24-6. Gordon was on fire, same for Billy. But since August 24th, Alex, a 657 OPS, and that's higher because of all of his walks. Billy, 529. They need a lot of, as Rex Hudler would say, bus drivers. But let's start with 2 guys that have been here longer than anyone. The 3 and 4 hitters tonight, Billy Butler and Alex Gordon. Gordon and Butler batting 3 and 4. They can get this offense going, and hopefully we see Billy swinging with a vengeance. Giordano Ventura throws the first pitch next.
Royals baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Make your move to Chevrolet today. By Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by ATT Uvers. Find out what's possible with ATT. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. It's a cool evening in Kansas City. Temperatures in the mid-50s. John Farrell's lineup will be Mookie Betts, then Xander Bogaerts. They have combined to hit .364 the last couple of weeks. Nava in for Ortiz, who has a sore foot. Cespedes, Craig, Middlebrooks, Bradley, Vasquez, and Jemile Weeks will face the Kia starting pitcher, which is right-hander Giordano Ventura. Last 7 starts, Rex, he's been excellent.
Yep, and that's what they're hoping for today. Stay under control. Dave Island likes to say, don't try to be too fine. Just follow Salvi's lead. Leads all Major League rookies in ERA and quality starts with 19. Hopefully looking for quality start number 20.
Bob Johnson has the Royal record with 20 back in 1970. after win number 13, did a great job in New York City, shutting out the Yankees in 6 innings, throwing 103 pitches, and it was his 8th straight quality start. He delivers strike 1 to Mookie Betts, and Betts had a good game last night with 2 hits, 5 at bats, scored a run. In the air, right side, playable for Aoki. 1 out.
Red Sox know exactly what they're getting from Ventura and from that Royals defense most of the time. Alex Gordon, wow. He's a 3-time Gold Glove winner, 3 consecutive years, soon to be 4. He can throw that ball, and believe me, every third base coach in baseball knows all about Alex Gordon. They don't send him home anymore on it.
Now Bogaerts, the 21-year-old rookie out of Aruba. We just were told the game time temperature 52 degrees. It's the coldest in Kansas City since April 29th, when it was 46 degrees for a game at the K. This is not like the Dominican Republic, where Yordan is from. He likes it hot and humid.
And believe me, most hitters do too. When the type of velocity that he has, you can see him. He's having some issues there with something in his eyes, maybe some sweat. Moose is,
you know, sometimes when you put a little suntan lotion on your face and your sweat leaks down into your eyes, starts to sting.
Yep.
He needs to focus. So did the Royals. They are 80-65, a half-game lead on Detroit, and right now the Tigers are playing the Cleveland Indians at Comerica, and the Tribe is leading 1-1 game. They just tied it up as a base hit is struck to center field by Bogaerts, who now has a 6-game hit streak.
And I mentioned it. The Red Sox know exactly what Ventura has, but just because you know what he's got doesn't mean you can hit him. Good hard fastball, mid to 100 miles an hour with that heater. Now that ball's down. It can be hit when it's over the plate. He has a very good overhand curveball. He's got good command with it, and an exceptional changeup for a 23-year-old rookie. That's the impressive part, how he can command that field pitch.
Nava, the designated hitter, his season numbers way down from last year when they won a world championship, and Nava hit over 300 with 12 home runs and also knocked in 66 critical RBIs in their 97 win season, and then they went on to beat St. Louis in 6 for the World Series championship.
He gets the ball home extremely quick, Ventura. Matter of fact, no opposing runner has attempted a steal on him through Giordano's first 30 major league outings. That's 29 starts. They're not even attempting a steal on him.
That is the longest streak to start a career since the end of World War II. It's also the 5th longest streak overall, with Whitey Ford's 35 starts and 262 innings from 1955 through 1956. And Rex, give the times again where it's for a pitcher to get it home and then for a catcher to get it to second base.
That's right. 1.3 or under, it's going to make it tough for a base stealer to steal that base. And especially when you have a strong catch and throw catcher like the Royals do with Salvador Perez. Anything over that 1.3, get a good jump, you could be able to steal the base if you have speed.
And Nava takes a called strike 3 even before the umpire Manny Gonzalez rang him up. Nava was walking back towards the Red Sox dugout.
Yeah, Nava was 2 for 2 until that at bat there, and that's just painting that corner with a fastball. Nava's got to go.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes, picked up before the trade deadline from the Oakland Athletics in the John Lester Johnny Gomes deal. Red Sox wanted a corner outfielder with power. They got one in Cespedes. Grounder to third. Moustakas across the diamond. That will do it. Good job by Ventura. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Royals coming up with Aoki leading the way. right now playing. It's David Price on the hill for the Tigers. Carlos Carrasco on for Cleveland. 1-1 score, bottom of the 4th inning. Now for Ned Yost's lineup, Aoki will lead things off, and he has a couple of hits last night in the Royals' 6-3 loss. Then Infante, Gordon, Billy Butler back in the lineup. Eric Hosmer hitting 5. Then Perez, Moustakas, Kane, and Escobar. That lineup brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Alan Webster, the pitcher. Last 3 starts, not good.
Nope. Matter of fact, they've been beating him up. He's got a 9.88 ERA over his last 3 starts for sure. Now, that just tells us what happened in the past. What the Royals will be looking for is a ball up, because he's a sinker baller. He's got a fastball. He'll go about 91 average velocity with that pitch. Slider, very few curveballs, but his changeup. It's going to be fastball changeup. He's got a good change, about 83 miles an hour.
24 years old, out of Madison, North Carolina. In there, and very quickly Aoki behind in the count as Webster working Nori upstairs.
Sinker ball deluxe, but you know what? In his 40 in the 3rd innings pitched in the big leagues this year, he's got 25 walks, so he's had some command issues. Not a lot of strikeouts, 26. He pitched a contact type of pitcher.
And you add his hits in, and he's given up 65 base runners in a little over 40 innings.
This is a young man that the Royals should have some success off of, but you just never know.
And the Royals have not been swinging good bats of late. Just 48 total runs their last 18 games. Grounded to short. Bogarts was terrific defensively last night and starts well, throwing out Aoki.
Defensively behind Webster. Better watch out for those arms. Wow, Cespedes, he's got a cannon. And Bradley, strong arm, but very accurate with his throws. Mookie Betts is a second baseman in right field. He's got 3 outfield assists.
All 3 outfielders have good arms. Bradley might have the most accurate, and Cespedes the strongest.
That's right. A lot of territory here at the K. Spacious outfield. A lot of ground to cover.
A strike to Infante, who was 0 for 2 with a sacrifice last night. He had 3 hits on Tuesday. The Royals lost at Detroit. KC came back and won the finale of that Detroit series. A wonderful pitching performance by James Shields. Backhanded Bogarts.
So I got to tell you, playing in this weather here, as cool as it is, it's cold enough to where, you know, your fingertips are a little bit cold. They're a little stiffer. That ball is slick. So it's not easy fielding conditions at 52 degrees. So that'll be a challenge for the fielders to make sure that they try to find some kind of grip on that baseball. Keep your hands warm. Do that by keeping them in the back pocket. A lot of guys have hand warmers in those pockets.
And you saw that weather report where it will be slowly clearing, and also the temperature will be improving tomorrow with temperatures in the mid-60s. And there's Shields, who his last 2 starts absolutely brilliant. We saw the very definition of big game James. He shut out the Yankees, he shut out the Tigers, and they kept the Royals in first place. Gordon to the right side, and a fine play by second baseman Weeks to get it to the pitcher covering, and the Royals are quickly out on 3 ground ball outs. It's time for our Sprint question of the day. Has the new video replay system improved the game this year? Yes or no? Text A or B to 432-432.
Hey, I like this question here. Pretty simple.
And of course, we had that challenge that was overturned in Detroit on this play. Ooh.
Ouch. Got him.
And Eric Hosmer immediately looked at the dugout and said, we've got to make that challenge, which they did, and it was overturned and ruled out. Alan Craig will lead things off. He was acquired from the St. Louis Cardinals in the John Lackey trade. Joe Kelly also coming over from St. Louis, and he will start in Sunday's finale here at the K. Royals looking for their first win over Boston this year. They are 0-4, losing 3 in Fenway and then 6-3 last night.
That's got to stop.
Escobar, 1 out.
That fastball of Ventura's has some good life to it, coming in on righties. They don't like that, especially on cold nights. That makes those hands sting when you don't hit it solid on the bat.
Rex, you have been there where teams have been charging in September trying to win. What do you say in the clubhouse after a game last night when the Royals made 3 errors? They didn't pitch well. They walked guys, then allowed the Boston Red Sox to score basically 6 gift-wrap runs.
All you have is 15 minutes before the media is let in. So during that 15 minutes is when you just let it go. You say, fellas, we'll go get them tomorrow. And then after the media leaves, then whoever's left around, you talk about it. But the important thing during this stretch is to not read newspapers if you're a player. Don't read newspapers. Don't listen to radio shows. Don't get involved in any of that drama that you don't need. Keep your focus right there on your teammates in the clubhouse. That's essential during this time. Don't want any other distractions, good or bad. Don't read and believe how good you are, and don't believe how bad you are. They say you. So, look, don't even read any of it. That's extra stuff you don't need.
So what you're looking for is empowering words, usually coming from your teammates or your coaches.
That's it. Focus on each other. Encourage one another.
Good pitch by Yordano Ventura. He gets his second strikeout on a wicked one from Ventura to Middlebrooks.
Now, if you're a fan like us, you know you're going to read and you're going to watch because it's all exciting. It's fun. That's what makes baseball such a great game. Is the second guessing that goes on, and the fan interaction. But from players, you really got to keep your focus.
Yeah, there's a few more avenues to get torn down these days, with not only the papers, the radio, the TV, social media.
Well, everybody has an opinion, and
yes, they do in sports always.
That's okay.
Now it's Jackie Bradley 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts and also grounded into a double play last night. He was recalled on September 5th. They love his defense, but he must shorten his swing. 24 years old, out of Richmond, Virginia. He has struck out 113 times this year and only has hit 1 home run. Boston building for next year. They're in dead last place in the American League East at 64-83, 23 games back of Baltimore, now 23.5 because the Birds won again. Jimmy Paredes, the walk-off for Baltimore in the 11th.
There's some 100.
Buchholz got the start last night and the victory. Standing next to David Ross, the backup catcher.
I could just read Ross's mouth. Did you see what he said?
No, I don't.
He said, "That was fast."
I thought that was faster than yours, and then Buchholz left.
Yeah, no doubt that is fast. That fastball at 100, that gets on you before you can even blink. I mean, it's incredible to face a guy that has that type of velocity.
How about this? Last year he only started 3 games in September, and he had the highest clock fastball, 102.8 miles an hour, and then an 89-mile-an-hour changeup. Are you kidding me? To strike out Bradley.
Get this guy some runs.
Is brought to you by Panera Bread. A new location is opening September 20th at College and King in Overland Park, and by your Midwest Ford dealer. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, Dave Holtzman, Steve Kurtenbach, a cast of thousands here tonight at Kauffman Stadium, watching the Royals, first place, trying to take command of the Boston Red Sox, with the knowledge that Detroit has just taken a 3-1 lead over Cleveland on a J.D. Martinez home run. Here is Billy Butler back in the lineup, and the Royals really need his offense. Billy at .329 in August, but just 2 for 25 in September.
Saw a fan out there that had a nice sign for Billy. Today's special on the menu, country breakfast.
To right field. That's deep, and backing up the right fielder Mookie Betts. So Billy gave it a ride, and the wind was blowing out, but did not get enough help.
Right away, Billy not messing around. That's right in his zone, his wheelhouse. He's a good opposite field hitter, but Betts with good speed and showing that Red Sox brass that, hey, even though I'm a natural second baseman, I can play outfield too. Good swing.
Now Eric Hosmer 0 for 4 last night after 6 hits in the 3 games against Detroit. Ball 1. We told you Hosmer was on his best tear of the season in July when the Royals went into Boston, and Eric was hit in the right hand. Breaking a bone wasn't discovered until a week later, and the Royals had to shut him down and missed all of August, 29 games. And during that, right before he was hit in the hand, was on a 16-game hit streak, the longest of his career.
Yes, a very unfortunate injury. John Lester caught him.
And he was driving the ball as well. A lot of doubles into the gap.
There's that changeup now. The Royals are going to have to figure out a way to hit that one. Now, it didn't have a lot of movement away, but the change of speed at 85 was enough to get him out ahead of the ball. Hosmer, he fights charging to the ball. His front leg, sometimes it pulls his upper body too close to the zone, too far forward, and it gets him a little off balance. Take a deep breath, has a good loose grip on the bat, as we'll show it, and just react. He swings awfully hard. Let's take a look at it. Okay, he sees that little flamingo kick. He sets it down. That's not bad, but that's a well-balanced stroke. Just keeping both hands onto the bat. Going to guide it up the middle.
The count has gone full on Hosmer, who has walked just 29 times this year. He was better than 300 hitter last year. Fouled off.
Change up, keeping it down. Looks like it's around 83 to 85 miles an hour, that pitch. He's got a slider that's going to come in a little. It's got about 84 mile an hour on that pitch as well.
Last year, Eric really broke through in the month of June. Last 4 months were outstanding and wound up hitting .302 with 17 home runs and 79 RBIs, but 16 of the 17 home runs came after early June.
Webster, quick tempo, and he's just getting that ball and firing it in there.
They have chased a bad ball, and that is strikeout number 1 for Webster. Hey fans, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Salvador Perez. He, like Billy Butler and Alex Gordon, struggling a bit of late, just 2 hits in his last 25 at bats.
Salvi tried to pull that, and he's been doing that a lot. Dale Swain was telling me that he's been working with him on pitch recognition and trying to see the ball before you commit, and then try to wait a little bit longer and shoot that ball to right.
To center field, in comes Jackie Bradley, but it will drop in front, and the Royals have their first base runner on a 2-out base hit by Perez.
Ball was down. We talk about how Salvi doesn't have to hit balls that are right over the plate. He's a very good bat ball hitter. Caught that off the end and dropped it in there. See where Vasquez, the catcher, he was going to catch that way off the plate. Yes, that hurt. Hit it off the end, or you get jammed inside on the label, underneath the label. That really stings them hands.
Here is Mike Moustakas. Really need Moose's power. Just 1 home run since August 7th. That's 112 at bats. He is 15 on the year. And lately he's been getting about 1 hit per game, and that has been able to boost his average up over the 200 mark, but still has been fooled by off-speed pitches.
They're going to have to really be patient with that changeup. Now, I talked about it earlier. He's got 25 walks, this young man, in just 40 innings, so they're going to have to wait him out a little. He's throwing mainly to left-handers. He's throwing sinking fastballs and changeups away, and most of them are not strikes. Hard thing for an offense like the Royals that's struggling, because you want to hit in the worst way. So you're going to have to fight being too aggressive.
In there. And we told you Webster's last 2 starts have not gone well. He has allowed 15 runs, 7 walks in just 13 2/3 innings. And then he hits Mike Moustakas in the side. So now the Royals with 2 on, 2 out for Lorenzo Cain, who's been one of their hotter hitters of late.
You could see Vasquez sitting up inside. Moose will have to wear that one. 3rd time he's been plunked this year.
And this is really where the Royals need to come through. They don't get many home runs. They're dead last in the major leagues in home runs, and they've only hit 1 the last 7 games. That's also the fewest, and that 1 home run was Lorenzo Cain's inside the Parker in Detroit. But they're only batting .209, Rex, since August 29th.
Yeah, but you know, this team is what it is. I mean, you can't expect home runs, but you can expect guys to hit with runners in scoring position. Lorenzo Cain's been one of their best all year.
Strike 1.
He's hitting .327 with runners out there, and he's had an RBI in his last 4 games.
You see those 3 multi-hit games, including the one last night when he went 2 for 4 and drove in his 46th run, which was tying his career high. Now down in the count. And chased again, a breaking ball.
Looks like he's throwing some more sliders to right-handed batters than left-handed batters. Lorenzo Cain told me before the game he's trying to lay off the bad pitches. It's hard to do.
Bogarts bobbles it, gets it to second just in time before Mike Moustakas gets there, and the Royals lead 2 in the 2nd. To the ball game, Red Sox and Royals game 2 of this series, and the Indians and Tigers are playing right now. Our Panera scoreboard shows that the Tigers, JD Martinez went deep. Detroit now leads top of the 5th inning, and as you know, the Royals lead the Tigers by a half game, Cleveland by 4 games. They still have 1 game left with the Tribe that is suspended, and they'll have to finish that off before they begin that series in Cleveland in a week and a half. It was 4-2 Cleveland going to the bottom of the 10th inning when the skies opened up, washing the rest of that game away, so they'll finish it in Cleveland. And here's the pitch to Christian Vasquez for strike 1.
Wouldn't that be something if the Royals scored 3?
Oh, it would be enormous. It would be the
they could steal that game.
It would be the lead on Fox Sports 1.
Yes, it would.
Crazy game, Hud. You never know.
No. You've got to come in there and be ready to fire.
I remember watching your team come back from 3 games back with 5 to go to tie the Seattle Mariners and force a 1-game playoff. So crazy things can happen in this game.
California Angels. Back in '95, but you know, before that we had a 12-game lead in August.
And then Gary DiSarcina broke his thumb.
And then we just couldn't stop the spiraling. Just kept going down. Next thing you knew, we gave them 3.
Great pitch by Ventura, gets his 4th strikeout of the night already, and we've just started the 3rd inning. And as we take a look at the rookie ranks for pitchers, Yordan Ventura right at the very top. You can see among rookie pitchers where he is in the big leagues this year, and opponents only batting .239. Quality starts, I love that, and I know there are critics of quality starts, but I always go, wait a second. The worst you can do is 3 runs in 6 innings, and what he did his last start, quality start, no runs in 6 innings. But he's done that in 19 of the 26 starts he's made. At the worst, allowing 3 runs in 6. Jemile Weeks takes low, and this gives us an opportunity to bring Joel into the conversation.
Well, Fizz had a chance to visit with Big Papi David Ortiz for quite a while today. He's out with a sore foot, but we talked about all kinds of things, and we'll share some of those over the course of this weekend. But one involved Yordan Ventura, and he said, you know, if I can help an opposing player, and that ball's going to get by Hosmer, maybe an extra base hit for Jemile Weeks as he'll coast in for the double. But we always see David Ortiz talking with players during batting practice, and he said, if I can help an opposing player, even a pitcher, a young guy, I'm always willing to do that. He said that he'd never met Yordan until the Royals were at Fenway in July. He said, I'd watched him on TV, and his stuff is unbelievable. But the advice he gave Yordan was, you've got to finish this thing off strong. Finish the year out strong. And then he said, you know, he kind of looks like Pedro Martinez. And I said, well, that was his idol. And he said that he told him to go and try to visit with Pedro Martinez in the Dominican during the offseason. Pedro loves to work and talk with young pitchers, and so that was one of the many pieces of advice he had.
There's a base hit to right field, Joel, and this will get Weeks home, and Boston takes the early 1-0 lead as Mookie Betts stays hot.
They know what they're getting. Fastballs early in the count, so they're shortening up their swing, and they're just trying to meet the ball. Infante's giving up some ground over there, keeping second baseman Jemile Weeks close to the bag.
Ventura wants to start the rally right here, and he's facing Xander Bogaerts, who singled his first time up. Betts is a threat to go. He's stolen 5 bases this year. And we told you earlier, opponents have not even attempted a steal in any of Ventura's 30 career starts.
It's not going to slow Betts down. He might take a shot. Red Sox with just 55 stolen bases this year as a team. That's 14th in the league.
Swing and a miss. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Mookie Betts is 5 out of 6 in steals. If you're going to go, you better make sure you get a good initial lead.
How about that pitch? A 98-mile-an-hour heater biting down and in on the right-handed batter for strikeout number 5.
It's really easy to see why this kid's going to be really special because of that movement, and they call that stuff. stuff means he's got good power, good fastball. He finishes his pitch. It's got life to it. That fastball, overhand curve, and that changeup.
And that really exploded down and in at 98. Well, they try and pick off Betts, but he dives back safely.
It's no wonder nobody wants to steal off of him. He's quick home, and also you just saw that move. Very quick to first.
Nava struck out looking his first time up, and we told you he was already walking back towards the dugout even before Manny Gonzalez raised his right hand to say strikeout. He saw the great movement, and it was the same tailing fastball that we saw that struck out Bogarts. At that time it was to a right-handed batter. Now Nava from the left side saw it rush away from him, and Ventura comes too far inside and hits Daniel on the right shoulder. Moustakas was hit by Webster, and now Ventura coming too far inside to Daniel Nava.
That's the 8th time Nava's been hit.
So they want to make sure this rally does not cause more damage. Royals really let last night's game get away from them because of their poor defense, and Liam Hendricks did not have a good start. Wild in the second and third innings, and then the Royals didn't defend well for him as they piled it on. Cespedes, though, since coming over from Oakland, 27 of his 74 RBIs in a little more than a month and a half. '24 of his 94.
Giordano's done a nice job of keeping the ball in the yard. Lefties have hit 9 home runs off of him, righties 4. It's gone 43 consecutive innings without giving up a home run since July 31st.
Well, this is a guy known for his power with 21.
He's got a long swing.
To the third baseman, Moustakas. High throw, and it gets away, and a run will score. Oh, man. 20th error by Kansas City the last 13 plus games.
Moose made the right decision to come and get it. Cespedes runs well. Had he waited back on that, he would have had an infield hit, so he had to come get it. Moose's release point just not where it needs to be. He let go of it a little bit too soon. Got to really stay on top and stay down and drive through that throw. He knows how to do that. Just having some yips with his throws.
That happened in the second inning last night. A ball that would have been the third out got through Hosmer's legs. A run scored. Kansas City just not playing good baseball. And Boston playing free and easy. They've been out of it for a while.
And you know, they're going to see that. The White Sox come in next to a team that's out of the race, but lots of times those teams really find a way to really put the heat on contending teams. They like to play spoiler. So they're going to be up for these games. The mentality of the Royals has to be every single night is a playoff game.
Rodano missed high and away with the off-speed pitch. The last 5 wins, Kansas City has either shut out their opponent or held their opponent to 1 run. That ball gets away. Here comes the 3rd run for Boston. 2 on mistakes. All 6 were on Royal mistakes last night.
How about that? Cespedes, he took off running. Had Salvi caught it, he would have been successful stealing his base. First time we've seen a base runner attempt to steal off Ventura. That's a tough ball to try to get your glove on.
Alan Craig strikes out, slams the bat away, but it's the Royals who should be upset about the way they're playing. They gave Boston 2 of their 3 runs. Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. Escobar, he has played in every single game this year, and I've asked him about his Iron Man efforts, and he goes, I want to play every game, every inning, never want to be sitting. But he has to be part of the Royals straightening things out, getting back to the fundamentals, getting back to baseball 101 and getting a passing grade. Royals have really not played well. First 2 games in Detroit and first 2 games here against Boston, but they still have time to recover, trailing 3-0.
All it takes for this offense is really 1 good hit. It seems like they all just kind of take off after that.
Escobar batting .276, 2 home runs and 46 RBIs. Webster, who has not shown good control at all this year, has certainly been able to get ahead. Strike 1, strike 2. He's allowed 1 hit and also hit a batter. To the right side, Jemile Weeks, 1 down. Well, diagnosed with cancer at 17, Jimmy Hootie Wade had to give up playing baseball to battle the disease with surgery and radiation treatments. Now cancer-free for 6 years, Hootie shares his remarkable cancer story with high school students and other groups. To help others, Hootie and his family have organized Swing for a Cure, a youth baseball tournament now in its 4th year that benefits cancer victims, survivors, and families who have fought and are still fighting the disease.
Way to go, Jimmy.
Jimmy Wade. Tell you, there's a great movie out about young people and cancer. It's called The Fault in Our Stars. Terrific movie. And it's about people like Jimmy Wade giving back and really helping others who may be going through that disease to feel better about their lives and better about themselves.
So important.
Opportunity to make a difference.
Yeah, that he would step out and mentor others.
Aoki slices it down the left field line, and that is a foul ball.
Aoki, when he swings that bat, lots of times he's falling out of the batter's box, so it's going to be hard for him to keep a ball fair down that left field line because the ball just slices away. Flamingo kick, sets it down. See how he's falling out. He's trying to talk it into staying fair, but it was foul by 3 feet.
In there. Jamal Weeks will now throw out Nori Aoki, and that is 2 grounders from Escobar and Aoki to the right side. Well, on this date in history in 1982, the Royals were trailing the Minnesota Twins by 3 runs early in the game. They came back, Rex, to win 18-7.
Really?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Man. They're going to have to really frenzy hit to do that.
Love to see it. We saw that frenzy hitting back in June when the Royals won 10 in a row. They have been in a downward spiral, and only they can get themselves out of, averaging just 2.5 runs per game the last 18. Webster feeling more confident as this game moves along.
Webster, he's just effectively wild so far, and really a tough test for an aggressive offense like the Royals. Royals are put it in play type of team. Sinker baller, you're going to hit some balls at people, but you got to find holes.
And he can run it up there occasionally to the mid-90s, but he usually lives with that sinker in the low 90s. Hud talked about his very good changeup.
Yep. He's going to mix in a slider. Very few curveballs. He does have one, but he's not comfortable with it.
Great pitch there. Strikes out Infante. The Royals go quickly and quietly in the 3rd. Of a royal blue October, the Royals know they need to turn it around on this homestand. They've got Boston, Chicago, and Detroit. Make sure to stop by the Royals Authentic Shop through the rest of the season and check out the brand new Salvador Perez and Alex Gordon fine art prints created by Victory Fine Art. Fans can purchase a copy of the original artwork plus a letter of authenticity for only $39.95. You can go online to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. You can also stop by that shop next time you're at the K. Will Middlebrooks will lead it off. He struck out swinging first time up. Ventura has struck out 6. It should be a 1-0 game. And there's a ground ball short. Escobar stays on top. Accurate throw. 1 out. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. We talked last night, probably the leading candidate offensively might be Aoki, but the team candidate James Shields for those 2 brilliant starts he had on the road trip in New York and Detroit. Ooh, hit well, right field. Aoki at the track there to pull it down, and Jackie Bradley almost gave it a ride.
Sounding good on contact, and with that wind, I thought it might help it a little.
Let's listen to it.
Why not? Right before the track.
I like the quiet of ball and glove.
Yep.
Christian Vazquez, the batter, struck out swinging. Ball 1. Giordano will reach this one and come back with a good, solid 4th inning. Royals baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Sam Adams, for the love of beer. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Red Sox 3, Royals nothing. And Royals fans, don't miss out on any of the action and secure your seat for the postseason. You can now receive 2014 postseason rights by placing a 2015 season ticket deposit. Any deposit placed by September 16th will earn you priority for this year's postseason For more information or to place a deposit, go to Royals.com/postseason or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. And the Royals try to get in any way possible. Wild card, they prefer first to win the American League Central, and right now Detroit leading Cleveland 3-1, bottom of the 6th inning. Alex Gordon, the batter, grounded out to second, first time up, trying to break an 0-for-17 slide that's seen his average dip under 270. Ball one.
Second time around, time to make some adjustments. Just trying to focus on that pitch out over the middle. See that, do the best you can to pick up the release point and lay off of that changeup.
How to play, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Rex, earlier you were talking about the Angel team you played on in '95 that blew a 12-game lead in August, and you talked about what you didn't do. You didn't read the newspapers or listen to the media, who was very hard on the team. But what did you do to be able to recover and come back from 3 games back with 5 to go? What did you do collectively, whether it was in the clubhouse or on the field?
Our backs were against the wall, and we all looked at each other and said, guys, let's go. Let's fight out of it. Come on, cover each other up. Let's just do what you can do and don't try to do any more. And don't put any pressure on yourself. Let's take it to the opponent. We started playing our game. We had some pretty good veteran players on that team. Chili Davis, Jimmy Edmonds was a young player. Garrett Anderson had just gotten there. DC Arcina was our shortstop, and we didn't have great pitching, but we had a tremendous offense, and they shut down. The offense stopped hitting. So it's just, if anybody could figure that out, they would own baseball. But you just can't. There's no formula that can figure it. There's no button you can push.
Gordon starts the 4th inning well with a walk.
There you go. That's an adjustment. This guy walks a lot of guys. Second time through. Start making him throw strikes.
Billy Butler hit the ball hard his first time up and sent the right fielder Mookie Betts to the warning track. With now no wind blowing out. Billy's been a career .326 hitter against these Red Sox. For some reason, when Billy hits, the Royals usually go through their good stretches. And he was hitting when they won 24 out of 30 games from the end of July until towards a little bit past the middle of August. This is a guy who 2 years ago hit .313 with 29 home runs and 107 RBIs. Strike evens the count at 1-1. And last year, Rex, he enjoyed a career high 79 walks, but this year only 38, just half that.
Yeah, well, last year he didn't have a lot of protection behind him in the order, and he realized that, and he was being patient and selective, so he's taken more. Now this year he's started off slow, so there was a sense of urgency for him, so he was swinging a lot of pitches that he normally wouldn't swing at. And then just till the second half, that's when he started getting hot. The team started really picking up its pace. They need him to get hot in the worst way.
One ball, 2 strikes. It was that good sinking fastball, down and in on him. Gordon walked.
Doesn't have much of a move. Average at best.
to the right side. They've got no chance at Gordon. They do get Butler, and there's one down.
Got him over.
On a cool night in Kansas City, temperature at first pitch was 52 degrees, the coldest since late April.
That's what Webster's game is. You see that 7 ground ball outs. That's what he likes to do. And you know, most sinker ballers do have success in the ground, but you find the holes, you beat them.
When Hosmer's going well, he's really good to left center field, but right now they have 3 infielders on the right side playing him to pull, and wide open is that left center area in between the third baseman. And now they've moved the shortstop Bogarts from the second base side of second over to the shortstop side of second in between pitches. 2-0.
Hitting coach Dale Swaim talked about Hosmer just trusting his hands and you know, getting a good comfortable balance with your legs. You know, your legs are important as your hands are in hitting. But you got to have a happy medium between your balance and not getting too far out on your front side, because you get off balance. And then just let the hands do the work.
He hits that one a ton deep to right. Wind is going to help this. It is gone. Rex, the wind suddenly picked up right after Gordon's walk, blowing at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and I think that big fly needed it from Hosmer to get the Royals right back in it.
Trust those hands. They'll work for you every time. That ball was left out over the middle. He didn't get off balance. He's able to keep his weight back. Really nice follow through. Good finish. He hit it high enough, but just wasn't sure if it was going to be deep enough.
Took him 73 at bats in between home runs. We told you he missed all of August because of the broken hand, but his last home run had been July 10th until this.
It had a lot of height on it. Yeah, it's going to help him get right back in this thing.
I had just looked up to check the flags, and they were roaring out towards right after really being still in the third inning. And there they are, maybe helping that Hosmer home run.
Well, look, they have a knack to feed off of each other, and if they can't feed off of that homer, I don't know what'll get it going.
Salvi takes low and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was also the Royals' first home run that has left the yard in more than a week. They had 1 in the last 7 games, and that was the Lorenzo Cain inside the Parker in Detroit.
First home run given up to a left-hander by Webster. That ball.
Well, that's a terrific catch by Alan Craig,
man,
the first baseman.
I didn't think he had any chance at that. Good focus. It's like a wide receiver in the back of the end zone. He's keeping his eye on it. Didn't even look down. He knew exactly where he was. He wasn't going to be challenged by the tarp or the wall. Good focus. Concentration.
Now Moustakas. Ball 1. Moose was hit on the right side. That put runners in first and second. Cain then grounded out to end the second. But here a big home run by Hosmer to draw the Royals to within 1, and there's a base hit on a line drive by Moustakas. Second time through the order. Maybe they're figuring out the young right-hander.
How about that? Boy, it's not easy to do, especially with that second baseman playing in shallow right field. placed it right between the second baseman and the right fielder with some topspin. Ooh. Pinpoint accuracy. Call it luck if you want, because once a hitter makes contact with that baseball, he has no idea where it's going. You try to have an idea, you zone him, put him in a certain spot in situations and try to hit it that direction, but you can't tell where it's going to go and what's going to happen with it. Ball's traveling at too high a rate of speed.
And Rex, you told me when you square one up perfectly, you barely feel it. No vibration, the ball just flies out.
Yeah, and that really is a good feeling.
To have no feeling.
Yeah, that you can't feel it. It's kind of like a fisherman out in the boat. You're hanging out, fish hadn't been biting in a while, and all of a sudden you feel that one tug, and you go, "Ooh, that's the one."
Any fish will bite if you got good bait.
That's right.
Here's a little music I'd like to relate.
Oh yeah, Young.
Who will drive the bus?
Adam Young. Looks like
Happy
Haas.
birthday.
Haas could be the guy. He's not done. We got plenty of action left.
Kane takes it high, 2-1. Lorenzo hit the ball sharply back in the second inning, and Bogarts dropped it at his feet, picked it up through the second to get the force. He's been squaring up some baseballs, 5 hits his last 2 games. There's a base hit. First and second, 2 out.
Here comes that frenzy hitting. They need another couple of those. And they can do it with 2. Good short compact swing again. Talked about Lorenzo Cain in his head position before the game. Great example there. To go to the opposite field, you've really got to keep your head down. And that's a ball on the outside part of the line. Look at that good extension with his arms, and his eyes are checking it out. Good body lean. Here it is again. Got a little leg cock, load up that backside. Good turn, upper torso. Nice. And that's just a lousy single. But the Royals, they have a knack to bunch them all together. Talked about it, their frenzy style hitting. Maybe we're going to see some more of it here with Escobar.
They got a walk and a blast. Then Perez was robbed on a tremendous play in foul territory by Craig. Moustakas and Kane with solid line singles to right field. Escobar goes after the first pitch fastball. Strike 1.
Again, Mookie Betts, we talked about it last night. He was in shallow on Escobar every single time Escobar came to the plate.
His RBI single came with 2 outs last night. Right center field. Bradley has it measured. Makes a nice running catch. That does it for the Royals. But they come up with Eric Hosmer's 7th home run of the year. And it cuts the Boston lead to 1.
Pilot to Bombardier. Open up those Bombay doors.
Us to Baltimore. That is short-time Royal Jimmy Paredes with the walk-off in the 11th. When things are going good, boy, they are going good. Played in just 9 games, or appeared in 9 games for the Royals. This was his 6th with Baltimore on a bad day for the Orioles, where they found out that Chris Davis was suspended 25 games. That'll include 8 of the playoffs for PEDs, failed PED test. The Orioles continue to play well, doing so without Manny Machado and now Chris Davis. Guys, did want to update you on some news. Talked again with Danny Duffy today. He played catch from 75 feet out, threw about 30 times. Said he was a little leery at first, wasn't sure what to expect, found his arm slot, no ailments at all. Said he was really pumped about how it went, continue to take it day by day, but his goal, he said, is still to make his next start. Was very, very encouraged by what he felt today.
Yeah, from what I understand is they're going to find out how he feels tomorrow morning, and then he said he's going to throw tomorrow and then maybe get a side session. Well, here is a base hit off the wall, and Jemile Weeks, who hasn't hit in weeks, suddenly is against Kansas City with his 3rd double of this series.
He's gotten locked in. I like that. Weeks hasn't hit for weeks, but he is now. He pulled one his first time up for a double, then he sliced that one right by Alex Gordon out there. Nothing Alex could do.
And this is where you really want to bear down and get these Red Sox. Mookie Betts, a young player. Yes, he's been hot, hitting .350 the last couple of weeks, and so is Xander Bogaerts, but they're young hitters, both of them just 21.
Did you know that Jemile Weeks is a .394 career hitter versus the Royals?
He's got to be .194 against everybody else.
Oh, man.
Second batter that Giordano has hit. Well, hopefully we can say the good news is that sets up the double or triple play.
Well, you would hope that happened, but that doesn't feel very good. And we've seen Ventura let some balls go, and he's not trying to hit anyone. He just sometimes that ball gets away from him.
Fans, is your dog a Royals fan? Well, now is your chance to bring your K9 friend to the K this upcoming Wednesday, as Bark at the Park is back for a 2nd time this year for just $35. You get a ticket for both you and your dog and a Royals dog mat, plus a donation will be made to KC Pet Project for every ticket purchase. Registration for the event ends Monday, so go to Royals.com/bark and bring your dog to the park. 2 on, nobody out. Bogaerts the batter. Venturas want to get that ball down. Only way you get a double play is to keep it down around the knees.
Brian Butterfield, third base coach, flashing no signs. Bogaerts is hoping he doesn't put the bunt on. Pretty scary to try to drop a bunt down at 100 miles an hour. Better off swinging.
Venturas fallen behind 2-0. Two and one. He's been very good this year in pressure situations. Opponents batting under 200 with runners in scoring position. And that ball went straight down, came straight back up, and hit Bogaerts in the face.
I could hit him in the foot first. No, it hit him in the leg. Then it kind of gave him a little kiss on the chin. Look at, that ball right there was fouled off, hit on his leg, and then it hit him. Imagine Giancarlo Stanton and And really the small miracle that he didn't have to have any surgery.
Yeah, that was great news today when we found out no surgery needed.
That pitch was thrown at 88 miles an hour.
Boy, it was scary to watch.
And he obviously did not see it, because they say he swung at it.
Oh, just barely missed away. The count is full 3-2.
But you could see how that ball hurt Bogarts. He was like, ouch. Any little ball toss, it doesn't have to be have a lot of velocity on it. And it hits you in the right spot, can do damage.
Ventura's a little angry with himself. Thought he got that pitch across, but not called. Now he's got to refocus on the right now, and the right now is a 3-2 count. Kane sets up, the runner will go, and Weeks decided not to try. How about that? I thought Weeks was going to go, and look at that. Kane was bringing the throw to second base. Why Jemile didn't go, I don't understand.
Oh, that's his call. It's his read. Obviously, he started thinking about Lorenzo Cain's arm and the 8 outfield assists he has, and he's thinking, you know what, I think I'll just play it safe here. But you know, Escobar was telling him all the way to go to second base, keep that double play in order.
Yeah, I expected Kane to go to second base to keep the double play in order, and that's why I thought Weeks at second base would make third easily.
Made a bad judgment. Hopefully it ends up not scoring.
So now Ventura will go to work on Daniel Nava. So important that you shut out the opponent after your team scored you some runs, after Hosmer hit the 2-run home run in the bottom of the 4th. Nava, a .288 hitter against right-handers. Strike one. Strike two.
Nava's grounded into 5 double plays this year. Giordano wouldn't mind making it 6.
Weeks at second, Betts at first. 1 down.
Nava's a pull hitter unless you make him go to the opposite field. So I'll be setting up away.
Little different situation than last night, where David Ortiz was hitting third. He stayed with the fastball. He struck out Nava looking on the fastball in the first. But it was down and looked like it was starting inside, then wound up on the outside corner of the plate. So he decided to hook him inside, and the count remains in favor of Giordano Ventura at 0-2.
Good location. You can't give him anything too good. 0-2 here. Got a few pitches to toy with him. The curveball inside was an effective spot. Got him swinging now. Maybe he tries to go 2-seam fastball away.
Ground ball off the edge of the glove by Escobar into left field, and Weeks will score.
Anything that Escobar gets near, he always gloves it. That ball found a way to get by him. Shocker. Things just not going right in the field. Now that's,
I expected him to at least knock it down.
Right.
Now Cespedes reached on the error that was the start of 2-run scoring. Royals should have been out of the 3rd inning, down 1-0. An error by Moustakas allowed a run to score. Then a wild pitch scored the next.
Rarely do I ever have to critique infield play here by the Royals. They're always fundamentally sound, but you've got to be able to knock that ball down with a runner in scoring position when you leave your feet, if you can get your glove on it. And for some reason he just couldn't get his arm extended. Let it go and keep pushing.
We had Daniel Nava down 0-2. Nava fouled off some tough pitches. Escobar will handle this one. Infante with the turn. They don't get the double play. 1st and 3rd, 2 out.
Cespedes runs well. Ball wasn't hit all that hard. It was going to be close. Now Infante, he's been nursing a sore arm, so he's not able to get on top of the ball. And when you throw a sidearm like that, you don't get a lot on it. Beat it. You can make up for lack of velocity with quick hands, but not against a speedy runner.
Runners in the corners. 2 out for Alan Craig, who has started his Boston career just 5 for 52. But very capable, had back-to-back excellent seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals, and last year hit .315 for the National League champions with 97 RBIs. Injuries set him back earlier. Runner goes. Now they have the runner in between 3rd and home, and Moustakas will tag him out. They were trying to double steal, but Salvi read it, smelled it out, didn't throw, and then came back to 3rd.
Yep. Overcommitted, and they got it.
Fifth inning, and it's time for Farmland What's Cooking at the K. Hopefully the Royals offense, because tomorrow night is 6:10 Saturday. Sunday afternoon the kids have their fun run Family Fun Day Sundays here at the ballpark, and the Value Monday on Monday night when the Chicago White Sox are in town. We're going to have a great fireworks show after the ball game tonight, and we hope there is one during the game by the boys in blue. Aoki will lead it off. Meantime, an update. Tigers opening it up as J.D. Martinez, not only with a home run, but he's also tripled and driven in 4 of the Tigers' 6 runs. Price 1 run and 7. Bunt try, straight in the air. 1 out. Oh, no fireworks tonight. It's going to be during the game, Hud.
We're waiting. It happened last inning. Hosmer got a hold of one again. Might need another one of those before it's over. It's a good idea to bunt him, but you got to get on top of that ball.
Fastball, strike 1. Beautifully thrown and located low outside at the knees. Right field, Jackie Bradley making the catch for out number 2.
Hitting here at the K, when you get a fastball out over the middle and you're a guy with not a lot of power, and even power guys have a hard time hitting a home run here, you really got to concentrate on staying on top of that baseball. And if it's elevated at all, you've got to really use that top hand to stay on top. Guide it through and keep it down, because they're going to catch them.
Alex Gordon takes ball 1 low. Gordon now in a 3-for-32 slide, but he did walk in the 4th inning to start things. And 1 batter later, Hosmer hit it out. Hit high in the air, left center field. Cespedes will make the catch, and the Royals are done in the 5th. Red Sox still lead KC by 2. Lead, and it's time to take a look at our AT&T fan photo. It comes from Corey at Graves 714. Thank you, Corey, for sending in that wonderful picture. Royals are hoping to bring their fans some smiles here. Right now they have a half-game lead. They know that Detroit has a 6-1 lead on the Cleveland Indians. Rose came home from a 3-3 road trip. First hosting two teams that have been struggling below 500 in Boston and Chicago, but Boston had lost 4, but they came in and opened this road trip with a 6-3 victory over the Royals. Now have a 4-2 lead, and here is Craig with a long fly ball, and Kane will be able to run it down just in front of the Fox Sports 1 sign. Don't let the end of the summer stop you from coming out to the K, fans. For this upcoming Tuesday's game, you now can receive Field Plaza tickets for only $10 and Hy-Vee infield tickets for only $5. This deal is only good for Tuesday's game, so make sure to take advantage of this end of summer special by stopping by the Kauffman Stadium box office, visiting Royals.com, or by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS.
That Tuesday could be Danny Duffy's start.
We hope so, because as we told you, Danny felt really good after throwing from 75 feet today. He'll try and go 100 tomorrow, but it all depends on how he feels tomorrow when he wakes up. Then if everything goes well, he would have a side session on Sunday, allowing him to be ready for that Tuesday start. Boy, he was so good. 2.42 ERA through one pitch in New York. Had to come out. Right center field. Aoki with a good accurate throw, and that keeps Middlebrooks at first.
Fastball down and in. Short, quick, compact swing. That's how you hit a guy that throws that hard. Let the velocity on his pitch provide the power. Just put a nice easy swing on it.
So Boston making some adjustments on Ventura, but you could see where Salvador wanted the ball outside and it tailed back in. Bradley 0 for 2, but he almost popped it out on a breaking ball last time up. Aoki ran it down right at the track.
Bradley will be tough to double, but he has grounded into 10 double plays so far this year.
Yeah, he's getting the ball up, and Giordano has said at times this year when he gets a little excited, he flies open, and then the ball has a tendency of staying up rather than getting it down. And Dave Island has to remind him about that, and so does Salvador Perez.
Yeah, that's the shoulder. When the shoulder comes open, it means it up.
Another long fly to right. Aoki there for the catch. Well, he really had to fight that wind.
Yeah, but Aoki did what a good outfielder will do. Balls hit like that with any kind of authority, you put your head down and you run to the spot that you think it's going to come down, and that's what he did. He took his eye off the ball and ran back. It's important to get back on it, and then when the ball is hit that high, you have enough time to pick it up. See how he took his eye off it, but he ran to the spot where he believed the ball was coming down. Again, Bradley twice now showing warning track power. A lot of hitters have warning track power here at the K.
Big ballpark. Most acreage in the American League. Colorado in the National League is a huge ballpark. Vasquez gets around on that one, and the count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ventura has given up 4, only 2 earned because of the Royal mistakes in the third. Moustakas' error would have been the third out on a throw to first base, but it was high and got by Hosmer. Scored the second run for Boston, and then a wild pitch thrown by Ventura made it 3-0. drives that one in there.
Just a very smooth but fast arm swing. Really comes out of there compact. Uses his lower half, but also has very good timing with his upper torso and his arm. He puts that all together. It looks smooth. It looks like he doesn't have a lot of effort to it.
And he signed with the Royals in 2008 at the age of 18. At the age of 17, I beg your pardon, only weighing 140 pounds and throwing in the mid-80s. But Rene Francisco, the assistant general manager of international scouting for the Royals, he said that he loved his arm action, lightning quick. And he figured put a little bulk on the guy, let him mature. Fastball will grow as well. And I don't think they expected 100.
No. But what a great find.
Sign him for 28 grand. And that's one of the great things I think Dayton Moore has done, is expand and improve that international scouting. They improved the academy in the Dominican Republic. They're scouting in Venezuela as well. That's why they're able to sign guys like Ventura, Salvador Perez, Kelvin Herrera.
Highly competitive business. Caribbean is where a lot of young talent lies in that weather.
Up and in, and he walks Vasquez, and now Weeks comes up. Jemile Weeks' last 3 at bats are all doubles. And Dave Island's coming out for a visit right here, and he might be talking about what we talked about. Ventura said when he gets a little excited, his front side flies open a little bit, and he gets the ball up.
He likes to talk about not trying to do more than you have to. Don't try to be too fine. Just get out there and throw it. There he is from the stretch. Unwinds, and you're going to watch that front shoulder. Got out there just a little bit, and you see how he leaves it up. His arm drags behind when the front shoulder opens.
Salvi has set the target right down the middle for the .219 hitter. Strike 1 to Weeks. He's raised his average 56 points with the 2 hits in this game. Spent much of the year, as you might imagine, down at Pawtucket and also at AAA with Baltimore.
Got to believe Dave Island just told him, look, got to go after this guy. Getting back to the top of that order after him. Attack the strike zone. Keep it down, have him hit it at somebody.
Looks like they might get that bullpen busy. And a great pick by Salvador to keep it from going back to the screen and advancing the runners to second and third.
That's an understatement. This is an incredible stop here. Oh, he got in front of it. Look at how quick his feet are for Salvi. He's able to position that huge body of his. Cat-like quickness.
The count 2-1, 2 out, 2 on. Important moment in this game with the Royals only down by 2. Yeah, he's really lost his command, and now he slaps his side.
Just rushing a little bit too quick coming out of that delivery.
Jason Frazier starting to warm in the Kansas City pen. He's only thrown right around 90 pitches. Well, the next will be the 90th. Counts full.
Here's the first double. Good pitch down low. Salvi was going to pick that out of the dirt. You can see. And then here's the second one. And now that was elevated. That's over the middle of the plate. Short inside out swing. So he went line to line on both of those. He had a rip on that like he wanted to try to hit it out of the yard.
If he had command of his breaking ball or changeup, he might throw that. And Weeks might be so far out in front. We'll see. Comes back with the fastball hit in the air, and that will curl and find the seats, and it stays 3-2.
Good, strong, accurate arms in the outfield for the Royals. Any base hit gets through, there'll be a play at the plate. Weeks, they don't respect his power. They're in fairly shallow. Lorenzo Cain with 8 outfield assists. Alex Gordon with 7. Aoki with 5.
Popped him up. Moustakas. That'll do it. Good job by Ventura. He goes 6. He might be done. We'll see. Sixth inning, and of course the 6th is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Amy Bates from St. Joe, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Amy will win $6,200. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Amy will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals.
Time to give away some money.
You got that right. Dave Island talking to Yordano Ventura.
Dave Island with a good rapport on all of his pitchers. He's got a great heartbeat on him.
He loves the kid. He said he's so competitive, but he just says we have to remind people all the time he is still only 23 years old. He's still learning the game. Eventually he'll be his own pitching coach, but he's like a sponge, wanting to get better every single day. Butler swings and misses at a first pitch fastball. Billy 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a ground out to second. Webster covering. Butler's the first out. A ram drive of the game came from Eric Hosmer last time up.
Sure did. 7th home run. 50th RBIs on base. Good. Nice swing. Got up underneath it. Caught it out in front. Wind helped it just a tad as it reached the first row over the wall. Good timing. Gonna need some more of those.
Takes a breaking ball low for ball 1.
That's one of the few curveballs we've seen from Alan Webster, who's getting it done with mainly 2-seam sinkers and changeups and sliders. That was a rare curve.
And Eric pops it up left side. So after the home run and a couple of hits in that 4th inning, he has now retired 6 straight. Well, Saturday, MLB returns to Fox as the Yankees take on the American League East leading Orioles at 11:30. Then on Fox Sports Kansas City, catch the Red Sox and Royals at 5:30. And on Fox Sports 1, the Padres battle the Diamondbacks. A full day of baseball Saturday on Fox, Fox Sports Kansas City, and Fox Sports 1. This is your home for playoff baseball. The Royals have to consider every single game like it is the playoffs. They had a half-game lead coming into tonight. Detroit has the lead on Cleveland, and Boston, meantime, leads Kansas City 4-2. Perez singled to center field his first time up, and then popped up to the first baseman Alan Craig last time up. Craig made a terrific catch down the right side in foul territory. Last year, Salvador a .292 hitter, and he was more foul line to foul line, meaning he would hit the ball to the opposite field, but has become more of a pull hitter this year.
That's a good example. That last swing there, that ball was on the outer half of the plate, and he tried to pull it. And he got fooled there.
3 up, 3 down in the 6th. 7th inning we go. Boston 4, Royals 2.
Guys, they are trying to stay warm and see if they can get their team to the playoffs. And folks, speaking of the playoffs, here is your chance to get Royals playoff tickets. Royals playoff tickets now on sale at ticketsforless.com. There is no risk, 100% money back for all unplayed games. Tickets for Less, your trusted source the last 10 years, has Royals tickets on sale for all games, including premium lower level seats. Check out ticketsforless.com for this once in a lifetime opportunity. They got to find a way to get there first. Yordano Ventura is back on the hill. And I don't know, Fizz, is Rex with you, or was he out with those guys?
No, he was right next to me.
Right.
He does have his face painted blue. He is wearing one of those construction vests that we saw down below.
It's
dressed in orange.
My face might be blue because it's cold up here, Fizz. We're holding it down up here, just waiting for some action, and glad to see Ventura back out there, Fizz.
Does that surprise you? Because he had a little rough last inning.
No, he's 93 pitches. He's got another inning left in him. If it can be a quick inning, they can get some early count outs.
Put that wig back on your head now, like those guys down below.
Yeah, no, I like the parking vest.
Oh, do you? Okay,
yeah.
We're gonna get you one of those.
Whatever it takes
for Christmas.
I'll dress whatever it takes. Uh-oh.
Shot down the line. Mookie Betts stays hot. He has been on 5 times in this series and gets a leadoff double.
Fastball in. Betts was able to get the bat head out in front. Good top hand. Whenever you get a ball like that and you hit it down that low, that means that top hand's rolling right on contact. Rolling over, getting the top of it.
Just the way he was getting the ball up in that last 6th inning, I thought they might go to the bullpen. They have a lot of arms available. They did have Jason Frazier warming up, but they're sticking with the kid. And now Xander Bogaerts will come up.
Last time Bogaerts came up, he had runners at first and second, nobody out. Bunting situation, which if the manager wants that to happen, but he let him swing away. Similar here, nobody out. Like to be able to move him on a ground ball to the right side.
This Boston team is right now, with so many guys like Betts and Bogaerts and Weeks and Vasquez and Bradley, younger than the Royals, but they have shown greater patience at the plate. And his example is the last 3 innings offensively for the Royals. They scored the 2 runs in the 4th, and they forced Webster to throw 25 pitches. The next 2 innings, Webster threw 6 and 9. The Boston Red Sox, John Farrell, for years, even before Farrell, they were a patient hitting team. And this year they've seen the most pitches in Major League Baseball. Over 23,000 right now, but they were at 22,975 coming in. And Kansas City at 20,291, 27th in Major League Baseball. So that means the Red Sox batters have seen almost 2,700 more pitches than Kansas City.
And there's an art to that. A lot of guys know that coming up, and they learn plate discipline, but it's hard once you're an established player to learn how to be patient. Obviously the Royals are an aggressive team, and that plays into their game, and also it can hurt them at times.
I remember George Brett when he shared the hitting coach responsibilities with Pedro Grifol. He told Moustakas and Hosmer, he says, go ahead and take a walk occasionally. If you take a walk every single game, you're going to hit 333. A walk and a knock, you're hitting 333. You're 1 for 3. But if you don't get that walk, you're hitting 250.
There's a swing to the right side there by Bogaerts. Again, that ball, he's leaving it up. It'll be getting tiring just a little bit. You can see Bogaerts trying to force that ball to the right side. To show your manager you're trying to do that, and you're not able to successfully do it in that at bat, at least the manager knows you were trying, because he knows how hard it is.
He was mixing in his curve and his changeup earlier, but it's been mainly fastballs.
I haven't seen too many curveballs at all tonight from Ventura.
Threw 23 in the 6th, but was able to wiggle out of that jam by getting Weeks to pop up to Moustakas.
was a curveball that he overthrew. You overthrow it, doesn't get the maximum amount of break to it.
Nava's a lefty, but the Royals only have a right-hander warming up right now, and that is Frazier. This could be Ventura's last batter if he loses him. Line to Ventura. Wow, if he doesn't make that catch, it's up the middle and a run scores.
There's a fine reaction play. Mookie Betts, he didn't even have time to react to that. Ball happened so quickly off the bat. He's swinging that right leg over, but that ball was hit on the perfect side, right on his glove side. Mookie Betts didn't have enough time to get off the base for him to double him up.
Rex, do they even have to worry about his changeup and his curveball right now?
No, they're strictly looking fastball. At any particular time when you face a guy with that weapon.
And now the ball skips away from Salvador Perez. That will be a passed ball.
That's going to have to bring the infielders in here. Another curveball that didn't really break very much. Salvi just misjudged it. Hit off his heel. So we're not seeing a full mature break from that curveball from Ventura tonight. Maybe one of the reasons why he's not throwing it. Cool evening. Could have something to do with it, the weather. Sometimes that ball is very slick when it's cold out there, and it's hard to get a grip on it.
But it does not seem to be affecting the Red Sox. Royals with 4 errors the last 2 games of this Boston series. They also have a wild pitch and pass ball. Everything's up.
That was Gold Glover's Salvador Perez's 5th pass ball of the year.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
The reason he's staying with that fastball is it's got a lot of life to it. You know, take your chances on your best pitch. And that's what he's been doing. At that type of velocity, you're going to get a lot of swing and misses.
Then he went with a breaking ball, popped up shallow left, and there's Escobar. So he was able to get a breaking ball where he wanted it to Nava to get a big out, and that's 2 gone here in the 7th inning.
Curveball had a lot better location. Didn't have his normal big break to it, but it was placed well.
So now it is Cespedes. They gave him a single, which I didn't understand. It was on that error by Moustakas. They also charged Muth with an error. I thought it just should have been straight up an error, because had the throw been an accurate one, they would have gotten Cespedes by a step.
Well, that's what I thought, but you know, when a guy who runs as well as Cespedes, sometimes the official score says, well, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think Moose would tell you if the throw's on target, he's out. Two balls, no strikes.
Salvi, one of the best blockers in the game as far as knocking that ball down and keeping it in front of him. The balls that bounce in the dirt.
To third. That'll do it. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Ventura goes 7, gives up 2 earned. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Cool evening in Kansas City. Royals offense remains cool as well. Just 2 runs on 4 hits. Home run by Hosmer's been it. And here is Tommy Lane, a Chevy call to the bullpen. This is a guy who's been a lefty specialist. Came on last night to strike out Alex Gordon. He has allowed only 4 hits to lefties in 37 at bats.
Yep, he's got a funky delivery. Fastball, 86 to 91, not overpowering. It cuts his fastball. He's got a big curveball. He'll throw a changeup to righties if he gets that far. John Farrell's got a right-hander warming up. I'm sure will come in to face Lorenzo Cain and Escobar after Moustakas.
Moose has been on twice, hit by a pitch, and also single to right field. 19 of his 23 games with Boston this year have been scoreless. He's allowed an earned run only twice. A strike.
We've seen the shortstop Bogarts play in on the grass. First time we've seen anybody defend Moose like that. Base runner's all you need.
Yeah, I'd love to see him shoot that to the left side.
Yeah, anywhere. I mean, you don't have to hit it really hard. Just the kind of guy as you see him, he's right here on the inside of the grass. Other guys in the infield there, a little triangle defense out there. Playing him to pull, dead pull.
Outside, 2-1. Lane was terrific for Pawtucket this year, going 5-1 with a 1.5 ERA, 11 saves. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
No way before this game started did I think that Alan Webster would have been able to hold the Royals down like he did. 6.47 ERA coming in. You thought maybe he might be ripe for the picking. but he executed. Really pitched a nice ball game, keeping his sinker down and changeup combinations.
Now that is a blanket. I'm not sure if it's a leopard or a quilt.
But he's got grandma's quilt right there on him.
Struck him out with a breaking ball. And now he will leave the game as John Farrell will bring on the right-hander. And our sprint question of the day: has the new video replay system improved the game? 82% of our fans say yes.
I agree with them. Now they will make some tweaks, as great Hall of Fame manager, now high up in the commissioner's office, Joe Torre, told us before the season started this year. It's going to take them at least 3 years to really figure it out and get it down to where they want it. Pretty good job first year, though.
This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. Last night Boston won 6-3, and they lead by 2 with 1 out, nobody on. And Burt Badenhop has come out of the bullpen, the 6'5" right-hander out of Harrisburg, Ohio. Went to Bowling Green, 2.43 ERA. More of a sinker ball specialist, I understand, Hud, than a strikeout guy with 37 strikeouts and 66 2/3.
That's right. He's going to pitch to defense. 85-91 with that sinking fastball. He'll also cut his fastball in on lefties. Sliders away from righties. Occasional changeups. He's been around. Pitched for the Marlins, Rays, and Brewers.
A chopper to the second baseman, Weeks. He will get caned by a step, and there's 2 gone. Badenhop spent 9 years in the pros in Milwaukee, Detroit organization, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, now with Boston. Since allowing runs in 3 straight games, on July 5th through the 8th, he's posted a 1.25 ERA, just 3 earned runs and 21 2/3. Their bullpen has been really sharp. Koji Uehara hasn't had the kind of year he had last season, but few can with the brilliance that he displayed last year. But you tandem him with Tazawa and Mahika and Tommy Lane and Baden Hopp. Pretty good pen to right field. It stays up. The catch is made by Mookie Betts, and the Royals are done in the 7th inning.
Us to Detroit, and while Cleveland did lead 1-0, it was all Detroit the rest of the way. That's the final out. Jim Johnson shuts the door on the Indians. A 7th spot on the game for the Tigers. So at this moment, they are tied with the Royals, who have been in first place since August 11th. They'll need to come back and win this one or drop into 2nd place. Guys,
They'll have to play with the same vengeance, Joel, that they played with when they were 8 games back in late July, and all of the forecasters around baseball were saying it's over once they got David Price, and the Royals said, what about us? And they took off. They won 24 out of 30. They moved into first place. They have to play with that same kind of freedom.
Yep, I totally agree. They've got to find a way to get it done on offense. The pitching has been pretty solid. Now, I don't know what's going on with the defense, but that's got to change as well.
Frazier, a veteran, comes in. 2.98 ERA. He will face Alan Craig, Will Middlebrooks, and Jackie Bradley here in the 8th inning. Red Sox with 4 runs on 8 hits. The Royals with 2 on 4.
Frazier, fastball, slider. Occasional changeups.
Strike 1.
Very good command. Really commands the outside part of the plate. You can see him. He holds that ball with a split finger grip, but he calls it a small-handed changeup.
I've never heard a pitch called that. Small-handed changeup.
I asked him, I said, you know, I watched you pitch for years in Toronto, and, you know, it looked like you had a split finger grip, and did you throw a split finger? He says, well, actually, I just call it a small-handed changeup. He said, he showed me his hand, not real big hand. He said, because to have a split finger, you got to have long fingers, ideally, so you can put that ball in between the index and the middle fingers. That type of action, when you throw it, has a tumbling, sinking effect to the baseball. Similar to a changeup, although the changeup moves a little bit more in to righties than down.
He has Craig down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See a lot of guys, if they'll hold their glove right here, they'll hold the ball with that split finger grip, and then when they get into their glove, they'll change it and they'll put it into their to the back 3 fingers, and they'll change it to a changeup, or they'll just stay with it. But it's a very difficult pitch to command.
They said Pedro Martinez's hands were so big that he would even have it in the changeup grip and then change it to a fastball grip as he took it out of the glove.
It's amazing how they manipulate that baseball.
Sure is.
You know, that ball hits the ground at all. Catchers always hand it back to the umpire and they get another ball in there, because a pitcher can make a ball really dance when it has a cut on it. Any kind of scuff on the ball, they're so good at making that ball move, but they hold the ball in a certain area and they can really make it dance.
Now the seams are tighter on the baseballs. In the old days they were not as tight, and you could dig your fingernails in there and lift the seams off and get a little bit better spin, and that ball would dance for you at the plate. Just trying to upset the hitter's timing and get him to maybe hit it on the handle of the bat or the end of the bat. Beautifully thrown by Frazier, and he strikes out Alan Craig on a perfectly located 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
See how he's changing his grip inside the glove. Working it. Great spot. I mean to tell you. Craig, he didn't want to, but he's got to go.
Middlebrooks 3 hits in the series. There's that splitter you're talking about, or the small hand changeup.
A little bit of action to it. See, it dipped right underneath the bat.
Middlebrooks suffering wrist and thumb injuries earlier this year that set him back. Fouled off, and Frazier has the edge. 0-2.
Nope. Red Sox got him squared away for that third base job. That's his to lose. They're hoping that he'll hit for some more power. They expect it, and they would just really like to see him stay healthy.
And you wonder how active they'll be in the offseason. After moving several pitchers, and they'll probably go after several free agents in the offseason. Outside 1-2.
Giordano Ventura, not a bad outing, but he threw the 4th most pitches in his young career, 212. He's got 114 as a high. Great fastball tonight. Didn't have much working on his curveball. His changeup was pretty effective.
He was a little wild, though. Hit a couple of batters, threw a wild pitch that scored a run. One of the hit batters would score.
Only 1 walk, though.
Yep, but the Royals did not defend well for him. A Moustakas error allowed the 3rd inning to continue. It would have been the final out, and the result was 2 more runs would score, and right now that's the difference in the game. Sox last year won it all. 97 wins in the regular season, and then moved through the playoffs. They knocked off the Tigers, of course. Another taken looking by a Boston Red Sox, and Frazier's face struck out both.
Frazier pulls out the razor. Woohoo! That is tight. Pinpoint accuracy. Back to back, you got to goes. Says really.
Now Jackie Bradley, ball 1. Bradley 0 for 3 and 0 for 7 in the series. in there.
Hard to see how home plate umpires Manny Gonzalez's hand when he goes to the strike because he's wearing black gloves.
Really calls that one a strike, and advantage. Frazier at 1 ball 2 strikes.
But you can see you can see him move. He'll move to his right as he accentuates that strike call. Right. He's borrowing Kerwin Danley's mask.
Frazier strikes out the side, 2 looking, 1 swinging. Bottom 8 we go. Royals need offense from Aoki, Infante, Gordon, and the rest.
Woo, my.
Striking at the side in the top of the 8th, and the Royals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Jason Frazier, very solid veteran pickup. Guy's extremely reliable. I mean, he just lives on that corner. A little slider, keeps it out of the hitting zone. Really effective in what he did, especially in this last inning. A nice job for Ned Yost and the Royals in his short time being here.
Now they'll face Koji Uehara. 2.64 ERA. That's solid. Opponent average 221. That's strong as well. You see what he's done his last 6 games, though.
That's right. That's what you focus on. If you're trying to get back on him, go ahead. He's not overpowering. 88 to 92. Cuts his fastball. Slider, curve, and a split finger.
Now, he played for the Yomiuri Giants from 1999 through 2008, and then signed a deal with Baltimore.
They just got through talking about the split finger. This guy has one, and it's a pitch that he uses, his out pitch. Now he hangs that, and you're not really careful with that pitch. It can be hit a long way now. And one of the reasons he hides it so well is that huge glove he's got. Look at that thing. It's a basket. So he can change his grips. He can do whatever he wants as long as he keeps that glove wide open. The hitter can't tell.
Now, Nori Aoki was with the Yakult Swallows in Japan. And as I said, Uehara was with Yomiuri. Were they rivals?
You were close on the pronunciation.
Okay, good.
Good try. Yakuto. Yeah.
When you played over there, I didn't broadcast there.
Sure, that's okay. Look, they were rivals. They were rivals. Now Tokyo Giants in Tokyo, they're like the New York Yankees here. You know, that's the more prestigious team. And Yakuto is a sports drink company, and they're in Tokyo as well. And that's the team that Aoki played for in his Japanese career.
Hit .329 in Japan.
Yeah, not too far away from each other. Jingu Stadium, where the Swallows played, was artificial turf, a bandbox, really short fences in the outfield. And all the fans there would have umbrellas. And whenever they would come take the pitcher out of the game, they would put these umbrellas up, and they would shake the umbrellas out in the outfield as it's time for the showers.
That's down the line foul.
And of course, the Tokyo Giants play in the Tokyo Dome, so it's an indoor facility.
And that's a little bigger ballpark.
It was a treat. Really one of the best summers I ever had in my 21 years. Everything was so different.
You were named the best 9th place hitter in the league.
That's right. Oh, look at that touch.
A little flare to left center field. Oh, and cut off by Cespedes. Nice running catch.
Look at the speed. Cespedes put some afterburners on. He's all the way in right center field now. But he really closed on that one. It looked like on contact. And again, there's a split finger. Aoki, he's used to seeing those pitches, and that's where he developed that swing. Thought it was going to fall. Every pitcher that pitches in Japan has a split finger or a forkball, and there's a difference between the two. Split finger has tighter spin to it, still has the downward dip to it. You don't spread your fingers quite as wide. The forkball, you spread your fingers wider and the ball tumbles, and you can see it as a hitter. You can see it tumbling towards plate. And after he floats a few of those split fingers up there, makes that fastball look like it's coming even harder. You can see Infante was behind that pitch.
Strikes out Infante on 3 pitches. Boston pitchers have retired 12 straight Royals. Join us for the final Buck night of the season next Friday as the Detroit Tigers come to town. Be one of the first 20,000 fans to enter the stadium and receive special edition Thundersticks courtesy of DraftKings. Then, as an added bonus, grab your dollar dog and head over to Gate A, where there will be a special pregame autograph session featuring current Royals minor league players. Tickets are still available, so visit Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS now.
Looking forward to seeing those Thundersticks. Those are little blow-up sticks, and you blow them up and you pound them together, and really that's what a Japanese crowd is like. In Japan, they have a lot of stuff like that, including a band that plays in the outfield. It plays the whole game.
It first came to the U.S. in 2002, and the Angels made it their Thunderdome when they were able to knock off the San Francisco Giants and win the World Championship. So we're hoping that all fans will come dressed in blue, grab some Thundersticks, and make a ton of noise.
That's right. It's distracting.
Still plenty of time to go, but the Royals need to right the ship right now because 15 games left after this one. They'll have 7 against winning teams, Detroit and Cleveland, including that suspended game, and 9 versus teams like Boston and the Chicago White Sox, as Gordon pitched one to right, but he is out. We head to the 9th, 4-2 Boston. The postseason is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. And fans, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any forms, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Royals. Well, we'll see Greg Holland, and this is indeed a good sign. Get him back out there to be part of that HDH combination of Herrera, Davis, and Holland. Brandon Finnegan looked pretty good last night as well, and Jason Frazier tonight.
Ned Yost said he would like to get Holland in there after missing a week in a non-stress situation, non-save, just to test him out, see how things are working. Good to see him out there.
He will face the bottom of the order in Vasquez, Weeks, and then turn it over to Betts.
You know, even if Holland does not have his 95 to 97 mile an hour fastball, he still can be extremely effective. We just saw Uehara, their closer, throws 90 miles an hour, maybe 91, but Holland's secondary pitches are so effective that he can get by with it. He's learned a lot in his last 3 years of closing games. 2.5. There it is.
That's a pretty good looking slider.
Yep. Saw one fastball, 2 sliders. Or split fingers. If you can tell the difference, you're better than me. That was a slider. You could see the grip.
Now Jemile Weeks. Strike one at 92. Greg did not pitch on the road trip due to the tight right triceps. Did close out the last homestand with a save and a 4-1 win over Texas, and that was back on September 3rd last time he threw. His 42 saves are second in the American League to Fernando Rodney, who has 44 for Seattle. Tried the slider, and you can see the way he pounded his glove. Didn't like the way it came out of his hand. Salvi tried to frame it for him. Instead, it goes to 3-1.
Okay. Some 94 right there. Looks free and easy. Looks like the same Holland.
Yeah, when he's in a stress situation, holding a 1 to 2 run lead, I think the adrenaline makes it get up to the higher 90s with the fastball.
I agree with you. Big difference when you're trying to close a game down. That adrenaline will pump you up, especially here at home with the K, when the hammer comes in from the pin to win. Can't wait to get back to saying that again.
Well, he'll lose Jemile Weeks, speed guy at first base. Royals trailing by 2, and now we'll turn things over to Betts and Bogarts, and they have been on 4 times in this game, 3 by Betts and 1 by Bogarts. Boston came in strapped to score runs this year, dead last in the American League with just 567. They've scored 10 in the first 2 games against Kansas City, although most of the runs have been gift wrapped. Good slider for a strike, and the count is even.
Okay, here's his grip. Slider looked like it had a little backup action.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Those secondary pitches that he throws are really sharp breakers. Like to be able to set him up with that fastball usually, so he'll go with those first pitch most of the time, but then he's got such good command with that slider, he'll throw that first time through lots of times. And again,
He struck him out, and that is the second strikeout for Holland in the 9th inning. Mahika starting to warm in the Boston bullpen. He can't do much better than Uehara did in the 8th. Mahika did close it out last night. Bogaerts stretches his streak to 6 consecutive games with a single in the first. Since then he has struck out, flied out, and lined out. Ventura went 7, gave up 4, only 2 earned, as the Royals suffered their 99th error this year. Way too many for a defense as good as theirs. That's a strike.
there's some 95. So we've seen Holland go from 91 to 95 tonight with that fastball. That's going to be the telltale sign to see if he's healthy. And those secondary pitches, they look as good as ever. If they can't find a way to win this game tonight, this is the positive you take from it. Greg Holland back and healthy.
Time called.
And of course there's always tomorrow. He's thrown 15 pitches. You hope you can get him out in this next one and then see how he feels the next day. Just like Danny Duffy's experiencing now.
In the dirt. That may have been the split finger pitch. Just barely got the top half of the baseball and fouled it off, and it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Detroit won their game over Cleveland today, 7-2 that final score, as David Price got the win and JD Martinez went off for 4 RBIs. So right now the Tigers and Royals are even in the American League Central. Runner goes, pitch swung on and missed. Holland strikes out the side, and a great return for Greg, who missed the last week because of the tight right triceps. Here's coming up for the Royals, Billy Butler, Eric Hosmer, and Salvador Perez. brilliantly in that last inning, striking out the side. This is his last pitch.
Yes, that's a positive, folks. Good to see him back. It's hammer time. Hopefully he'll be fine tomorrow. But that looks really good. We saw him throw as high as 95 miles an hour. That's all it takes. Now let's see if they can make some magic here in the 9th inning. They've got 3 walk-offs so far this season. Love to make it 4 somehow, some way. They got to find those holes. Mujica 90-94 with his fastball, slider, and he's got a split finger.
He recorded his 5th save of the year last night with a perfect 9th inning. He was able to get Kane, Escobar, and Aoki.
Maybe John Farrell's moving Edward Mujica into that closer's role. Used to be Koji Uehara's.
Butler to right field and twisting around as the right fielder bets for out number 1. Reminder that Joel and Monty will be with you shortly. The Boulevard Royals live show after the contest. Hopefully it will be a little while later. Maybe the Royals can get a couple of on and get a big fly out of here and win this game with a walk-off and send it to Joel and Monty with everybody smiling. But right now the Royals need to dig themselves out of this hole they've dug themselves in. They have not pitched that well. They have not fielded well lately. 20 errors the last 14 games, including this one. But our associate producer and chief numbers guy, Dave Holtzman, had a great quote, and he sent the stats out to everybody. It was from Walt Disney, and it said, "All the adversity I've had in my life, all the troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth could be the best thing in the world for you." Well, the Royals have received a kick in the teeth and more from the Red Sox in games 1 and 2. Now they have to bounce back.
Especially the last 4 innings. 14 straight Royals have gone down.
A chopper to the shortstop.
15
2
straight.
out.
The last 4 innings, the Royals have seen only 40 pitches.
Walt Disney had another great line, Hud.
What's that?
If you can dream it, you can do it.
That's true. Totally believe that.
Royals fans been dreaming for 3 decades.
I got a saying too. If you don't hack, you'll get set back.
They'll make you pack.
Well, they are hacking, I'll give them that, but they're just not selective. They're going to have to come out here and regroup tomorrow unless they can get some magic going here.
And it will be the veteran Jeremy Guthrie. He'll be opposed on the other side by Ruby De La Rosa. But unless they come back in this one, they'll find themselves a half game back. In second place behind the Detroit Tigers. That ball stroked. And Bradley reaching up and making a marvelous catch in left center field for the final out. So Kansas City starts poorly on this homestand. They have not defended well, making 4 errors in the last 2 games. They have fallen by scores of 6-3 and 4-2 and are now 80-66, a half game back of the Detroit Tigers, who won earlier tonight by a final of 7-2 over Cleveland. Weeks with a pair of doubles and a pair of runs scored. It's all over here at the K. We'll be right back.